Hey, what's up, guys? So I made it to the garden, and I've got all my plants, all my empty pots lined up, and I think I got about 30 or 40 of them, not sure. But so I went ahead and made up some little tags that will actually make it through the heat season, through the heat and whatnot. And these are called impression tags. And I actually used a pencil, and I just documented what I have, what kind of seed it is. And this one is a seed I started in January 20th, and this is my alpha group. It's the Heirloom rainbow cherry tomatoes. And I brought four alphas, including the lanky one that grew all over the place, because he's technically came out first. So I decided to bring him over and just go ahead and put him in the soil. And then the second group that I got, actually labeled with little blue paper clips. And these were my beta plants. So these are kind of the second in the running for, I guess, their strength and maybe durability, and for sure in the order in which they sprouted. And again, I've also got the impression tags that I documented. I have them written down here. It says beta on it, seed 120. And really, I'm just gonna sit down here and pretty much pop these in here. Sorry about the shadow in the background. As you can see, I've already got my drip line hooked up here, and this drip line is actually zip tied to every other bucket all the way down the line here. And then everyone's got their own little drip lines, you can see here as well. And one thing I noticed about the alpha seeds, or the alpha plants, where they've actually got, and maybe you're doing the same thing, you can put it over here, you can actually see where the roots are starting to come out. So I think that they're technically ready to go into the pots, and it's definitely getting warm out here in Florida. So I think they're probably going to be okay going ahead and planting them. So what was it? It's been like 10-20 days. This is about a 20-day growth. So we'll take these orange ones, I guess, here, and we'll get the first little guy out. Try to get out of the way of the shadow if I can. It's not exactly, of course I got my sunglasses on too, so I can't really tell what y'all are seeing. So I'm going to actually take the tab out, and I'm going to bury the tomato plant pretty much up to the top of the stalk. So when I put this in here, I'm just going to push the dirt around it. And like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, it's actually good to plant your tomatoes deeper in the ground, because they'll start growing, more roots out of the stalk itself. So that'll be the first one. And I'm gonna take a little dripper here, and then I'm gonna grab, I'm using these things, I'm not really sure what they're called. They're just these little metal posts. Are these little metal stakes made out of iron. And iron is actually good for the plants, so that's kind of cool. And then I'm going to place the dripper right next to the stalk of the plant. So that way the water will disseminate kind of in an area like this and start going straight down. And this should be good to go. The second thing I have to do is, I'm doing this with one hand, so you have to bear with me. I'm working on getting a tripod eventually. Oh, I've already got a hole. Look at that. I was gonna drill a hole here, and I've already got a natural hole where the handle used to be at. So I'm just taking this little tab, the alpha tab. I'm gonna pop that in here and automatically do it with one hand. That's kind of the hard way, but essentially you get the idea. I'm just gonna leave that here, and because I didn't do this in marker, the sun will not bleach it out, so it's actually impressed into the the aluminum or tin or whatever it is. So that's how I'm actually going to label those. But I'm going to do the same thing here. Pulling out a weed. We have all these weeds in our compost. This is actually cilantro that's growing wild out of all of our flower pots. So we're just going to dig another little hole here. Take this out. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these yet. I would normally keep them in here, but since I'm burying them, this one's a little bit longer, so we're going to go ahead and pull out the dirt. And the other thing is I really want these stalks to grow straight up. I'm not really in the business of growing plants that are growing horizontal and have to do a whole lot of shimmying around in order to grow in the proper direction. And some plants, this is a crucial thing that you need to take care of when you're seeding the plant, is not actually allowing it to grow sideways. And typically the reason why it grows sideways is because you start your little plant next to like a window in your kitchen maybe, or in your garage or your bedroom or something like that. And if you don't actually have a grow light on it, it's going to naturally gravitate right towards the light. So if it's across the room, your plant's going to grow up like this and start growing sideways towards the light. And some plants, that's really bad. Like for instance, I'll show you. We actually had some of my cauliflower plants. Well, actually, I pulled out all the stalks for most of them. I'm just trying to look for a good example. I don't really see one per se. So just for example, how this one was, if you can see the stalk of this cauliflower plant, if I can get myself out of the picture, it actually was growing sideways when it started. And that was, so you can actually see how it grew sideways, and then it grew and did a 90-degree angle turn. And part of the issue with that is that the cauliflowers that I'm growing in particular are getting so big that the weight of them actually pulls the plant down. So we try to grow these plants with the stalks as straight as possible, so the plant reaches right up to the sky rather than trying to bend and then trying to correct itself. So I'm going to take this little dripper and put it right next to the plant. And maybe I'll just leave this little orange tag in here somewhere where I can find it later, like maybe on the side or in a corner. I'll kind of do the same thing with this one here. And who knows if those will actually stay for the duration of this, but nonetheless, they're in there. And then move my table over as best as I can. And I'm basically going to rinse and repeat for the rest of these. So I'm going to go ahead and put that one in here. And this tomato plant, the last alpha, is going to go in here. And if you didn't catch it in the beginning, I'm actually going to try to let these things grow, and then I'm going to take the seeds out of the tomatoes, and I'm going to try to see if those ones are, first of all, I like them because they grew up fast. They grew up the fastest. So for me, if I can cultivate or begin cultivating and breeding a plant that actually grows quicker and hopefully grows bigger fruits, then I may be able to get, when you start adding up those days, I may be able to get, an extra couple weeks at the end of the growing season for these to keep growing before we have to tear the plant down. So it's actually kind of beneficial to get something that grows really quick and really strong and preferably big over the ones that take a little bit too much time to actually come out of the soil. So we want to encourage the strong plants to actually, this one's really long. So we're going to bury that one down here even further. So I think he's getting buried alive here for a minute. It's not perfect, but at least we've got him buried. So we'll just kind of actually push him like that. All right, so now we got him set up, and we're just going to take the impression tags and do the same thing here. So hopefully these guys will grow up to be strong and produce good fruit and make everybody happy. Do a little switcheroo here on the camera if I can. I guess not. All right, guys, I appreciate y'all stopping by. This is RavenSky. Please, if you would, like and subscribe, share this content if anybody else might be interested, especially in your local area. We'll be doing more updates on some of the produce. Matter of fact, I can do one right now for you. The broccoli is actually coming up really well. You can see, maybe you can't see, little tiny broccoli head down there, little small one, the size of my finger. So some of these are actually bigger than other ones, like this one's a little bit bigger. And these will actually probably be ready. I might be able to harvest some of these by next weekend if we get a quick bolting session. If not, I would say for sure in 2 weeks these will be ready to go. So that's just a quick update on the broccoli, and I'll probably throw it in the title and description. What's up, everybody? Thought we'd go say hi to the cows. Maybe climb over the fence, see what they're doing. See if anybody wants to play or get roughed up. I don't know how to switch this over. So we're gonna climb the fence here. Maybe no one will notice that I'm climbing a fence. I'm gonna see what Mama Cow's doing. Mama Cow wants to say hi. You gonna say hi, Mama Cow? What you doing, girl? What you doing? What you doing down there? You got flies all over your face. Yeah, you do. You got flies all over your face. Oh. It's getting hot out here. Say hi to pretty girl. Hi, pretty girl. What you doing? What's pretty girl doing? You looking for scraps? I think pretty girl's looking for scraps. You can see where they're licking themselves up here. Yeah. There's a lot of flies out here. I'm pretty girl. And Goofball, he doesn't really like to be pet. We'll say hi to Goofball. We will say hi to Goofball. Yeah? Yeah? Is that what she said? Yeah. You got flies on your nose. Say hi to Happy. Happy Cow. What are you doing, sweetie? What are you doing? What you doing? Can I sit down here with you? Yeah, you're the smartest one laying in the shade. I'm kind of scared to sit down. There's a lot of cow crap laying around here. Yes. She's a pretty girl, huh? She's pretty too. You got the nicest coat of fur. Oh, you like to get pet behind the ears, huh? Yeah. Yeah. Happy's a good girl. Like a big poopy dog. You gonna pet you again, pretty girl? Yeah? Are you camera shy? Are you camera shy? No? No? No, you're not, are you? Yeah. So yeah, you can walk in here with the cows. I mean, you can't, but I can. Mama, you're laying out in the sun, getting a sunburn. You're getting a little red. Yeah, you should probably go lay in the shade. I have to do that more often.